Hey there, new students. As you guys can look behind me, you guys can see I'm up here in the mezz bringing this video to you guys. Let me just remind you guys that while we are not here together as a youth group on Wednesday nights, know that the church is not just a building. The church is the body of believers that come together and worship together. And that's what we're going to be doing this Wednesday night exactly. So I wanted to show you guys on what I'm doing for you guys. So obviously we are still doing Wednesday night youth group, and starting next week we're going to be doing our Sunday Bible study. But I also know that you guys have a lot of added free time on your hands and you guys are going to get really bored. So I've taken the luxury of doing a little mini-series teaching videos for you guys. And they're all going to be structured around how we can respond to this crisis, to the situation that we're in. And the title of the series is For Such a Time as This. Now, for some of you guys may know that phrase, be like, hey, that sounds familiar. If you guys grew up in the church, that might sound familiar because I'm getting that phrase specifically from the book of Esther. Now, a context for all of you guys that may not know the story of Esther. So this is way after the time of Judges. The people of Israel have had their kings, they split nations. And then what happens is that God raises the Persian Empire and invades all of Israel. And so what the Persian Empire does is that they take the people of Israel and they move them all to the land of Persia, to their kingdom. And so a few generations pass by, and then comes along King Xerxes. You guys may know that name because he's a well-known king. King Xerxes was the ruler of Persia. And a few things happened, and then time goes on, there becomes a plot to eradicate all of the Jews in the Persian Empire. And Esther's the only one that can go before the king and try to stop this plan. Now she's really nervous because she knows that her life could be at risk here and she could be outed as an outcaster and left for dead. But here's what Mordecai, who is Esther's role model and mentor, says as he's trying to convince her to go before the king and present her plea in her case. This is from Esther chapter 4. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this. God is in control of everything. There is a reason that God has called for you to live right here, right now. There's a reason that God has called you to live in the neighborhood that you live in, and there's a reason that God has called you to live in the crisis that we're living in right now. Just because we're in a time of crisis does not mean that we can stop being the hands and feet of Jesus. There is no excuse to stop being the hands and feet of Jesus. And so that's what this little mini-series is all on. How do we respond as Christians, and how can we still continue to be the hands and feet of Jesus Christ during this time of crisis? Also, on the more funny side, this little mini-series allows me to be able to share some awesome memes that this entire situation has just created for our enjoyment. As you guys can see right now, I have found a perfect Baby Yoda meme. Super cute, it's the best. I told you guys I would eventually find an excuse to put Baby Yoda in one of my teachings. It's right here, right now. But I also want to give you guys the opportunity, if you guys find any really lit memes during this time that have something to do with quarantine, something to do with coronavirus, leave them in the comments. You guys can private message me them, or you guys can text them to me, get them to me, and they may just end up in these videos as well. Stay safe, guys. Love you guys. See you guys Wednesday.